benefit to those who didn't previously use Outlook and have wanted their own calendar to keep them up to date. So that's your Leads tab. I'm now just going to take you into the Customer section. Okay, so there's been a few changes within the Customers tab as well. You will always have your search options at the top. Viewing options, we've given you a lot more now. You can view your tasks if you wanted to, and again there's various options as to how you view those. And also, if you just scroll down here, you can obviously search for your customers by application or business name and things like that. So I'm going to keep it to all for this scenario, but I'm going to move on to the next section. So whenever you created a customer previously, the options were Customer Wizard or just a new customer. Now when you use the drop-down option, you actually are able to create a company, a trust or a partnership. So there's a few areas there that will allow you to capture further information depending on the applications that you're actually working on. To make any of those selections, you highlight them and obviously you click on the Run button. Okay, it'll give you a blank template to start afresh. So on the right hand side, I'm just going to select Miss Pamela Anderson and I'm going to open up her customer record. Okay, so I'm placing it into edit mode, which is the same. Again, the general customer detail template on the front hasn't really changed. You're still able to add all of the information that was previously available within Ireland. However, there have been a few tweaks. So employment remains the same. Associates, again that does remain the same, and client tags. So the client tags will then appear, as I said before, not only in the customers but also the leads, so you are able to generate your reports for each of those areas. Again, insurance section, not too many changes in that area, but we have included the log, which I briefly just touched on in the leads template. However, this is a log now for your customer. So before, where we had a history tab and various other areas and a separate task tab to look at these things, we've combined those for you. So there's a central point for all of these actions. Now I'm just going to minimize some of these so I can go through each of them individually. So whenever you create a new activity or history record or any of the following drop-down options, it will automatically create a new drop-down menu for you. So as soon as you start entering fields into Ireland, these will start accumulating and you're able to then click on the drop-down to review anything that you've created or has pre-populated because of an action that you've created or various areas in the system. So for example, this is appointments, so any appointments that have been made regardless of whether you've used Outlook synchronization, they will be stored in this area. Now there's two tabs, there's one by category and another by date. I'm currently in the category section here, so it's outlined all of the things that have currently been created for Pamela Anderson. So that's the appointments. Underneath there has been a task, so again you can double click on these areas to take you to that information that you've created. Again, you've got any activities, so again it's shown that we have created a customer, so that was an activity, that was an action that we did within the template. Emails, so any emails again still get stored as a history record, and again it's just under its own heading. Phone, so again if I've made any history records of a conversation, then again this will be triggered, and also the more you add, obviously it will then capture all of those automatically for you. Again, we won't be going through the workflow today, but any actions will be, for various scenarios that are created for a customer will be captured in this area. Now what this will automatically do now, as soon as you enter a client customer record into Ireland, it will also trigger the first step of your workflow, which is the prospect stage. So that's an automatic thing now that the workflow will do for you, and that will appear in the history section. So there's a lot of information there, but it will mean that you've got one central place for all of that information. And the idea is to keep it central, but also I guess what's the word? It's neat and it's tidy. So with the drop-down options, you are able to then to categorize each of those in a better way. So that is your log. Again, by date, you can actually view everything in date order that they have happened. So this will be a combination of activities, emails, workflows, notes or appointments. Now again, from any of these two tabs here, you do get the new options, so you can forever keep adding these sections into Ireland. As soon as you do click on by date, you do have a print option, so you can print the current view, the print setup, or again the page setup. So there's a few options now available around those areas. Okay. General notes, now we haven't taken that out, it's just given more of a drop down option at the top of the screen there. So we still give you the history background section, the current situation in the recommendation box. You can still use these as you would normally, and obviously you can attach any documentation into these areas by placing the cursor in the section that you want to add it to, and then going up to your toolbar and clicking on the paperclip icon. So that's your log. The next thing is your links. Now this is actually, sorry, does anyone have their microphone on? Can I just remind everybody just to put that onto mute, just because I can hear someone shuffling around a little bit. Thank you. Okay, so under links, you are able to actually, okay, just had a little bit of interference there, so if ever could just make sure their sound is on mute, that would be very, very helpful. If you're unsure on how to do that, you do have an icon at the bottom of your desktop where I'm circling, and if you click on that, you're able to then mute the whole sound of your desktop or your laptop. Thank you very much. Okay, so we in the links section, you are able to create a line scenario, and you are able to outline whether there's a spouse to the client that you've created. So what you can do is click on the new line scenario at the top, and we've also given you the line profile button within the customer record as well. So this is a great way to get to that in one step rather than the three-step scenario that we had before. Again, if you wanted to view any of your line scenarios that were currently in process, you just double click on any of these links here. So that doesn't change, they'll all get their own individual line scenario link. It just means that it's given into the links section of the database, and you're able then to keep adding various things around that area as well. Now, as well as entering those into the database, you do have an add a link option at the top, and what this will do is link someone else to the line scenario for you. Now this has come up blank, but what that will do is say husband, partner, or various categories for you to choose from, and it will then drop down into the section. So at first look, it's obviously there available to you. So there's a lot of changes in this section. I think everybody will be very, very happy with that. And obviously, again, we want your feedback after today's webinar as well. So that's the customers tab. The mail options, and obviously the tools, the save and close mode, and the buttons for those haven't changed. You can still email your clients from clicking on the mail button. It just means that the system's now allowing you to get to the information very quickly in one hit rather than going through various areas of Ireland. Okay, I'm just going to double check in case I've missed anything here. Okay, so that's an overview of the leads and customers section of Ireland. If you have any questions, please feel free to get back to me on email or shoot me, or give me a quick call. We are very happy for everyone to give us some feedback, and I'm sure there'll be some testing on your behalf at some point. Otherwise, thank you for today. Thank you for your attendance, and we'll look forward to speaking to you soon. Thank you.